So when I heard this song for the first time, you can only imagine. I had my headphones on, and it just brought such fire to my belly. It brought such. Can you bring up a little bit of lights? Oh, thank you. Now I can sort of see the back of your head. It brought up so much stuff inside me. Did it bring any stuff up for you? No? Okay, then. My whole talk's dead. No, it really did. It brought stuff up for me. I mean, how many people here want to change the world? The rest of you? What do you want to do? I do want to change the world. But here's the thing about changing the world. Change happens. The world is changing, in case you haven't noticed. The world is changing. That is inevitable. What I really think Donya is really touched into here is I want to change the world by my presence in it. Not just change it to something that will fit me, but I want to change it because I'm a changing human being that is a divine entity. Yes? So, that was good. So our theme this month is grateful. Really understanding that it is up to you, it is up to me to be full of the greatness that I am. That's the only thing that's going to change the world. I mean, the truth is, nothing changes in this world until it changes in your mind first. Do you know that? I mean, that's the way it works. The only change that is ever going to happen in your life is the way you relate to whatever's happening in the world. Gandhi related differently than a lot of people. Martin Luther King related very differently than a lot of people at that time. Malcolm X related very differently than Martin Luther King. And yet there was something similar to what everybody wanted, yet they all did it a different way. Why? Because we are individualized expressions of this thing called God, and we are each unique in the way we manifest who we are. So it's up to us. If I want to change my world, I need to change my mind. That's as simple as it gets. So being grateful this month, and thank you, Ellen, for talking about this, it's too easy for us to decide what we're grateful for and to see all the things we're grateful for. How many of you have been doing your gratitude things? Right? Every day I wake up, 3 gratitude things. Kevin and I do it every morning. Before I go to bed, I think about the 3 things I'm grateful for that I wasn't expecting. There's been a lot of those. I will tell you this. Something happened this week. I woke up one morning, and I'm going to be very honest. I woke up, I could not find 3 things that I was grateful for in the mindset I woke up in. Anybody ever have that happen? You're laughing so clearly. So I woke up and I couldn't find 3 things. I mean, you know what? Yes, am I grateful for my husband? Absolutely, 1,000%. But I'd already been grateful for him once that week. So, I didn't want to overdo it. So, am I grateful for my children? Of course I'm grateful for my children. Am I grateful for my health? Yes, I'm grateful for my health. And something happened that morning. I woke up and I was like, I need to be grateful for something else. I want something else. I found myself halfway through walking the dogs before it hit me. And I was annoyed. I was like, surely, James, there's something monumental you're grateful for. What's the big... And then I got it. And it wasn't for this or that or anything external out there. And what I really got was I was grateful for the fire inside of me. And I was like, whoa, that's a whole different idea of gratitude. I am grateful for my challenge of the world. I am grateful for my discontent. I'm grateful for being discontented with certain things because it's only going to change when I change my mind about it. And sometimes discontent causes me to change my mind. The front row's getting this. Right? So I really got it. I was like, okay, so I'm going to be grateful for that. I'm going to start being grateful for things inside of me that I don't even talk about that much to myself. So being grateful inside of me for the fire in my belly. How many of you have fire in your belly? Yeah. So we just went through an election. There's a lot of fire in the belly, but I got to tell you something. Most of the fire in the belly is a bunch of complaining. I really mean that. Now, I agree, there's a lot to complain about. But you are either going to agree to complain or you're going to agree to do something constructive about it. You can't do both. Because if you're complaining, you're part of the problem. So the fire in my belly, it's not about the complaints. And the fire in my belly is not about seeing everything that's wrong but not talking about what am I going to do about it. It's about the change that needs to take place in my mind in order to allow me to live in this fire. Because I can. How many of you want to live in the fire? Really live in the fire of it. Not just, I have fire in my belly now, let me get it all calm. I like living in the fire when it's the fire that is creative. You know, sometimes it's not that we have to be thankful for what we have, but for what we know is ours to do and be. And I have great gratitude about that. I am very grateful that I get to come here every Sunday and speak. I am very grateful that there is a world that gives me a place to be who I am. That's what I'm grateful for. One of the big things I'm grateful for. So, some of the lyrics in Donya's song, I want to see my future in a whole new way. One of the lyrics that came out of this song. I want to see my future in a whole new way. So, how many of you have futures that you're pretty sure where they're going? Jose, did you raise your hand? You didn't. You kind of went like that. Maybe. Really, raise your hand. Who thinks they really have a secure future that they know where they're going? It's good that I'm here tonight for you people. So here's the thing. When I say I want to see my future in a whole new way, what I'm really saying is when you say that line, I think you actually have an idea what your future is, and you want to see it differently. Because this whole idea of same old, that doesn't work for me, doesn't work for me. So if I'm going to say to you, how do you want to see your future? You kind of have to know what your mind is doing right now. Because basically, whatever your mind is doing right now, welcome to your future. So if you want to see your future in a whole new way, you better start using your mind in a whole new way. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to see my future in a whole new way. I want to see this whole universe in a whole new way. I want to see every day differently. I don't want to wake up and think I know what I'm going to see. I don't want to wake up and think I know what I'm going to do and how it's going to evolve and how everybody's going to show up. I want to know that this world is an evolving, exploding, creative place, and anything can happen. Everything's possible. Wouldn't you like that? Yes. You in the back, yes? Yes. Okay. So guess what that's going to take? It's going to take change. It's going to take change. How many people here, I want you to be really honest with me, how many of you have an issue with change or don't like change? Like no one's afraid to raise that. Really? Only a few of you? Wow, that's pretty good. Let me ask you again. How many of you are challenged by change? It makes you a little uncomfortable. How many people get uncomfortable with change? Okay, so good. How many people are awesome with change? Wow. Scott, you didn't raise your hand for any of those questions. Don't think I can't see. Okay, so here's the thing about change. We're confused about change. I got to be honest, everybody. We are confused about change. We think that in order to change things, we have to go change them. It's just not the way it works. The only way anything changes in your life is if you're equal to something different. You know, I hear people all the time telling me they want more money, they want more money, they want more success. They've got to find a way to be creative, to find a way for their creativity to make them solvent and financially solvent in the world. But the truth is that will never, ever, ever happen to the mind that doesn't change, to the mind that doesn't become equal to that. You cannot have monumental success if you are equal to a tiny life. It's just the way it works. You can't have enormous prosperity if you are equal to a life riddled with lack. It just doesn't work that way. So if we want to change anything, we have to be equal to it in mind. It's just so logical. The law of mental equivalent, it is so logical, spiritually logical and relatively logical, that what you want to become, you must be. In order to become, in order to bring it forward, you must be it. You must absolutely be it. So George Bernard Shaw said this: progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Think about that. I mean, he was a very sarcastic man, but progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. I've been accused in my life of changing my mind very rapidly. Right, Kevin? But while some people may think that's a flaw, I see it as one of my biggest strengths because I can turn on a dime. I literally can, it does make people a little seasick around me, but I can turn on a dime. If you can make something logical to me, I can turn on a dime and go, all right, I got it. Every one of us must learn to be that because I think we get way too caught up in what we've decided is the right answer. And it may not be the right answer, or it may have been the right answer yesterday, and today it's the wrong answer because something's changed, something's shifted. So we must be willing to, as George Bernard Shaw says here, we must be willing to change our minds when appropriate. So I love one of the lyrics that Donia wrote, which is, you can't make changes. No, how can you love when you can't forgive? What a beautiful, that line just kind of slips in there at one point. You know, how can I love you if I can't forgive? How can you hold love and still be holding regrets or be holding things against people? We can't. Like one of the quotes from last week, a mind that is grateful does not have room for anything else. A mind that is filled with love for everything, love only, the mind that will only love and will refuse to do anything else, that mind does not have room for resentment, for anger, for grudges, for blame. It just doesn't. How can you love when you can't forgive? You can't. So if there's anything inside of you right now, as we move into this Thanksgiving, you know, we always at our Thanksgiving table, we go around the table and everybody says something that they are grateful for. Now, I will tell you, at times during Thanksgiving, I have fallen prey, like Ellen has, to being the person that's cooking the whole dinner. And, you know, last year I think we had, how many did we have last year? About 14 people around this table. And now I noticed that the table had a leg that was a little shaky. You all heard this story. How many of you heard this story? Well, you're hearing it again. So, you know, I knew the leg was shaky, but it didn't look like it was going to fall. So I still set the whole table and put everything on it. And as we're going around the table and people are saying, there's Will in the back, as people are, you know, giving their gratitude and all, I see the table sort of just go. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, no. I always talk to Jesus in those moments. And then the table fell. You all know the story. It fell, and my very first response was, Will, what did you do? You cannot blame if you are filled with love. So clearly in that moment, I was leaving a little room for blame. And the joke is, of course, I knew the table was broken. So truly, whose fault was it? No one's. We don't blame in this church. Yeah, it works. So how can you love and forgive and not forgive at the same time? You just can't. And then I love this. You can't make changes unless you take a shot. Is that still in there? Okay, good. Every now and then I get the lyrics to a song, and by the time I go to use them, they're like, I cut that. I have a new line now. But that you still have that one, okay? You can't make changes unless you take a shot. So one of the things I'm also grateful for about me is that, and certainly the Board of Trustees knows this, anybody who's been on the board at this church knows this, I will take shots. I will take many shots until I dunk it. That was a basketball reference. I was the ball boy for the 76ers. Don't even think about it. I understand basketball. So back to Donia. So you can't make changes unless you take a shot. I am grateful for the fact that I'm that person. I will just shoot. I will take every shot there is to take to make sure that I am expressing everything there is to express. When my son gave his little talk up here, he talked about that quote about how at the end of life you want to be able to slide into home plate having given it all up. That's who I am. And that's who I always will be. I will always take the next shot. So how about you? What shots are in you to still take? Where are you holding back? Where are you still standing on the same old routine? Where are you allowing your life to just move along? Where are you letting life just kind of go on? it is time for us to take the shot, to take whatever next shot there is. And it doesn't matter if you hit the net, the rim. It doesn't matter. I have a picture. I will bring it in someday. I have a picture of me playing basketball on the court of the 76ers, and I'm like 2'3", and they're all really big. And you see me and the ball's like in the air. I got to look for it in my steamer trunk. The ball's in the air, and it like doesn't even reach the net. I mean, it was really embarrassing. But I took the shot, and someone luckily took a shot of that, so I have it. I think it's important for us to stop caring what the shot's going to look like. Stop trying to plan it out. Just shoot the friggin' ball. Yeah. Shoot the idea. Let it out there. Now, I'm not saying you should tell everybody in the world. Most people tell everybody in the world their ideas because they're never going to do them. And they get their reward by just telling everybody what they're going to do. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about doing it. Absolutely doing it. So, I have a quote here from Barack Obama, President Barack Obama, who said, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek." So the only thing that's stopping you from living the life you want to live is that somewhere along the line you bought into something that you can't. Or you bought into something that says to you, it's not my time yet. It is always your time. It is always the time to do what is yours to do. And that's the thing, isn't it? What is yours to do? What is yours to do? How do you know what's yours to do? You have to be fearless with that. You have to be willing to listen. You have to be absolutely willing to listen to what is yours to do. Because guess what? It's really important for you to know what is not yours to do. And I think a lot of people spend a lot of time doing what's not theirs to do, and they waste a lot of precious time. If you know that something isn't yours to do, stop doing it. And start doing what's yours to do. Because there is something unique to each and every one of us that is ours to do. Joselitos was to go to Washington, D.C. and meet. You met President Barack Obama. You know, so what is that that's yours to do? We get to celebrate this week. It's a short week for many of us. We get to have more relaxation time. You're going to be sitting around a table with friends and family, and there's some time for reflection, to just get quiet with yourself and ask yourself, what's mine to do? What am I here to do in this world? What makes me happy? What makes me happy? In boot camp this week, you know, it became very clear to me that nothing makes me happy. Nothing makes me happy. I am happy, and there are things I resonate with. That's how happy works. Because when I think there's something that makes me happy, I'm usually disappointed somewhere along the line. Happiness is who we are. And when we come from that state of happiness, then we have the opportunity to start listening for what's mine to do. Because don't you know, when you're happy, don't you feel like you can do anything? Yeah? Pat, don't you? Yeah. So when you're in a really good mood, it's like, sky's the limit. I can do anything. So that's who you really are. You are happy, even if you're sitting here unhappy, which I defy you after that song to sit here unhappy. Right? So even if you're sitting here in any kind of a mood, there is that in you that is innately happy. And when you tap into your innateness, your true self, now you're ready to take on the world. I can change the world because I can change myself first. Maya Angelou said this. I love this. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Isn't that a great quote? If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. So this Thanksgiving, let's be grateful for what we have in mind. And I don't just mean in mind for the future, but I mean, let's really be grateful for what we have in mind. You have the greatest tool you will ever need to create whatever you want to create, and that is your mind. Don't misuse it. Don't underuse it. And don't exhaust it by using it for so many things you don't even care about. How many conversations have you been caught in where at the end of I just did this week. I will rat on myself. I spent 2 hours, I wasted 2 hours of my life this week on the phone with Amazon.com. I did. I spent 2 hours. And I knew what I was doing. I got it. I wasted my mind for 2 hours. And it's hard to believe because I don't do that very often. 2 hours. I think Nora was there when I was on. No, Will was there. He heard me because he was like, who are you talking to? Amazon! Get out! It was just awful. Because they were supposed to deliver something to my house, and they inadvertently changed it to the theater's address. All on their own. And then I pointed out that, do you see where it says ship to? That's the address I wanted to ship to. They said, yeah, but your other address was the one that came up. I said, but do you see where it says ship to? And this went on forever. And they kept sending me to the Philippines and back and forth, and this went on for 2 hours. Did I win? No. They still sent it all back, and I'll get it next week. But I spent 2 hours trying to change an outcome that was not mine to change, nor should I have cared so much about it. But somehow, with everything that was happening in my life, this had to be my way. Did you ever get like that? Please, everyone raise your hand and tell me you've all gotten like that. Okay, good. Okay. So be grateful for what we have in mind. The mind can go away for 2 hours and just totally screw up 2 hours of your life. Or you can use your mind to create the very life you want to be a part of. So this Thanksgiving, I've decided that this Thanksgiving, even though I am cooking for 19 people, I don't even know if they make a turkey that big, but do they? Yeah. Okay, good. I might get 2 little ones, though. You don't care. So this Thanksgiving, I have decided that my mind is the greatest gift that I am thankful for. And I have made it literally my mantra that I do not waste it on anything. I won't waste it on anger. I won't waste it on frustration. I won't waste it on anything that doesn't bring me what I want to be experiencing. So the title of my talk today, usually I say that at the top, this is the top. I have another whole hour. The title of my talk today is The Fire of Ambition. The fire of ambition. Because guess what? That's also something I am immensely grateful for. I have, in case you didn't know, I have a lot of ambition. Anybody know that about me? How many else? Who's with me? How many of you have a lot of ambition? Okay, so first, what is ambition? Ambition is that thing in you, that fire in your belly that is literally pushing against you saying, come on, you can do that. This is what you're here to do it. When you're a singer, this woman, when she gets up here, when Donia gets up here and sings, there is something in her pushing her and saying, take that little foot and touch that piano. There's something inside all of us that's telling us, go. That's ambition. That's all it is. Things of trying to be something because it'll make me feel better, that's not ambition. That is a warped sense of self. Trying to make something out there make me feel good about myself. That's not ambition. And I had that for a long time. I don't have that anymore. Ambition is understanding what that fire is inside of you. So, I have a couple questions for you. Who here feels that they have felt the fire in their belly? Okay, good. Who here wants to feel it like in a bigger way than they've ever felt it before? Okay. Do you believe you can? Because that's the answer. If you somehow think, God, I want to feel this, but not that type of person, that's what we have to get past. We have to be willing to say, I'm ready to change the world by changing myself first. So I am grateful for my ambition. I am grateful for your ambition. I'm here to actually spark something in you that says, wait a minute, I've been playing this a little low. I've been playing this a little less than I can play it. I've been kind of hiding a little bit. I've been like waiting for something to happen. I don't know what you're waiting for, because the truth is the only thing we ever wait for is our own realization, our own awareness of something. So I'm here today to tell you it is time to really take your willingness to succeed in life, to be more creative in life, your ambition, and take it and activate it. What's it going to take you to activate it? Only one thing, and it's right behind me. Remember who you are. Because when you remember that you are the power of the universe, just waiting for you to make a decision, when you really get that, when you actively get that, then doesn't matter what happens in your life, you get to remember who you are, and in remembering who you are, everything else fades away, and you're back on track. That's what happened when I got off that phone with Amazon. I went, wow, who were you just now? And I got it. I was like, wow, I wasn't my highest self. I was just trying to prove some stupid point that you could get it your way. And the irony is you didn't get it your way, because when you woke up this morning, you said the only thing that mattered to you today was to be joy-filled. That didn't happen for those 2 hours. So here's your opportunity. When you go through your day, the week this week, when you go to your Thanksgiving dinner, I want you to really think about this. I want you to ask yourself, is there a fire in my belly? Am I ready to activate it? Am I ready to let it activate me? And am I ready to step into a change in my life that changes me first and therefore changes everything around me? Y'all ready for that? Yeah. Are you really ready for that? Yeah. How much are you ready for that? Really? That was still not good. How much are you ready for this? Yes? Okay, so everybody take a deep breath. No applause today. Come on up, singers. Singers. Come up, singers. I thought about this week, too. I was like, you know what? I'd like to do a talk where no one applauds me at the end, because you don't need to applaud me, because this is what I do and this is what I'm here to do. So I don't need the applause.